Good morning again, Jamaica. If you're just waking up, we've been here since 6 o'clock. We'll be here right up until 9 o'clock with our Smile Brought. All right, 8:35 to 9. So stick and stay. And a special good morning to all the children waking up this morning. No school today. Yay! Let's celebrate. Now, some mothers are watching, some children are watching, and they will be able to relate to this story. The Right to Speak is the brainchild of Dr. Joshua Wright. It is an advocate or advocacy group with the purpose of bringing awareness and support for speech impediments in children in Jamaica. Dr. Joshua Wright is right here. That's Dr. Wright, Josh, and his mom, Miss Lola Fong, and not co-founder, but the woman who helped Joshua on his journey as a child, right, to be able to become this big medical doctor and be confident enough to sit here today. She is also she's a speech pathologist, speech therapist, and she will be driving a lot of this advocacy group. We want to say a special welcome to Miss Andrea Ray. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with the mom.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to start with mom. Tell us about Josh growing up, and when did you realize that he had issues with his speech, and how did you address it? How did you feel? Take us through the first moments of recognizing that there was a speech problem, would you call it, or a speech impediment?
Speech impediment. So it perhaps was a good thing that he was a second child. So his brother, at a year, was saying words, and after a while saying sentences. Joshua, at 2 years old, could only say mama and dada. We were not unduly perturbed because you figured, children develop at different paces. But by 3, he really was not saying much more, and by that time, he would point to things that he wanted. Now, of course, we are in the home with him, so we accommodated it and understood it. But by that time, we realized something was wrong. So we firstly checked his ears because he had had a history of ear infection, so we figured that would impact on it. Ears were fine. Then we did a neurological test. Brain was fine. We went to a development speech specialist, and she said he needed intensive speech therapy because he was just not able to speak at the level that he should have. And if we didn't do that, we'd then run into behavioral issues. So we were referred to Andrea, and that was the turning point. And Andrea was the one who named it developmental speech apraxia, which was a scary diagnosis. I'd never heard the word before. And my layman's interpretation, speaking to her, she said what happened is that there was a disconnect between what he heard and what he spoke. And that was the issue. So that started the journey of 8 years of speech therapy, difficult, challenging, twice a week. It was a difficult journey. I remember when we just started going, and one day we're driving there, and I picked him up at school, and he was crying, and I said, "What's the matter?" And he said the kids are teasing him because he can't say his name, because he would say Oshua instead of Joshua.
Well, that's quite a nice name, too.
So I remember I went to Andrea and I said, "Andrea, if you don't teach him anything else,
teach him to
never
say his
functions,
name.
Please teach him to say his name." Because as a parent, you just wanted him to be normal.
Of course, of course. And children can be very mean. So children, don't be mean to people, okay? Lesson 1 from this interview. Dr. Oshwa, Dr. Joshua Wright. What was it like for you growing up, especially in the school setting with the children? How hard was it during those 8 years of therapy?
So part of the issue that I had is that I never fully understood what was happening with me growing up as well. So I personally never understood what was happening. I just felt more like an outsider. And I just didn't, people never understood. If I never understood, no one else understood as well. And you're always trying to reach out for understanding, trying to just, that's the same thing, simple thing that every child wants, to be understood and to communicate. And you're not getting that communication. And what happens is I kept to myself, kind of kept thoughts to myself. I was very shy, I had some insecurities growing up. And it was a battle, and it was a battle because you never felt why I had to be battling this, why other kids can't be battling this as well. So that was the main issue, of having not been understood. That was the main issue that I had to deal with.
And from your own circumstance, you found your purpose in life, not just a medical doctor, but to create this advocacy group to help other children. Let me ask you, thank you for doing that. We really appreciate that on behalf of all the children who will be the beneficiaries of your advocacy, but you also have your own speech therapist on the journey with you. Tell us how you brought in Andrea and the role. Andrea, you can tell us what your function is.
So what happened is after I graduated from medical school, I realized, okay, at this point in my life, I wanted to actually give back and try to help other kids with my same issues find their full potential, because I knew it was a learning process for myself. So at that point, I said, okay, I want to do up my own project. And there was no one better as my own speech therapist. So I spent 8 years sitting down in her office over and over and over.
Yeah, other mother?
Yeah, I was mother, yes. And I reached out to her. I haven't heard from her years. And then she was on board from early. And then she
Excellent.
came straight on board. And so far, we've been good together.
All right, let's thank you. Andrea, tell us what are the signs? How do we get treatment? How should people treat children with speech impediments? Take us through. We have 2 minutes to empower and educate the nation now.
Okay. Well, a speech language communication disorder is anyone who's not communicating effectively. So it could be a lisp, it could be a stutter, or it could be a language delay, and with Joshua is a combination of also articulation and language delay. And so the best thing to do is to try to understand what the child is trying to say, not try to finish sentences for them, not try to, beat it out of them, or to say, you can say it better than that, or what's wrong with you? Why don't you speak like other children? None of those things are going to help. Speech therapy is not always available because there are not many of us. There are only 7 of us in the island. However, if you're able to get in, the main thing to do is to work with your speech therapist and to continue whatever is learned in therapy time, continue it at home. In terms of what the nation could do, what other children could do, is listen intently to the child, because sometimes you can figure out what they're trying to say. So instead of laughing at how they're saying it, try to figure out what are they trying to say, because that's where the frustration comes in. The child is trying to communicate, nobody's understanding, and so they act out or withdraw.
So you're saying get treatment. 7 is a small number.
Yes, there aren't enough speech therapists in the island.
Right.
So any high school student trying to figure out what they want to do, please, the field is wide open, and there is work to be done.
Okay. I'm going to give you the last word, Joshua. A message to the nation, as well as how do we contact you and how do we follow this journey and join the advocacy train?
So the main message that we want to advocate for in the right to speak is to try and understand the kids and be patient. Patience is a key for every child, no matter even have a speech impediment. Patience is a key. And if you want to contact us, we have a website. It is rtspeak.org. We also have an Instagram group. It is rtspeak_JA. We'll also be holding a seminar early next year where we're going to invite other parents, teachers, anyone interested to come learn more about it. And we're going to have some specialists speaking as well. So I invite everyone in the public to come to the seminar to come learn more and follow us to get as much information as possible. Information is key for this issue.
Well, that is the truth.
Yes.
And as I said, many parents are watching right now saying, Lord, this is what I'm going through. Remember patience. And look at the doc, man. Joshua to Joshua. You can do it, okay? We can do it together. So rtspeak.com. Follow them on social media to hear more and to get more information and support. And to the 7 speech therapists, language pathologists in Jamaica. Oh my gosh, you have a lot of work to do. We got my sister-in-laws, Marita Golding, out there doing the work as well. Dr. Joshua Wright, founder of Right to Speak, his beautiful mother, Lola Fong, and also his former speech therapist and joining the advocacy train, Andrea Ray. Up next, my people, which Christmas loan is right for you? We'll discuss that after the break.